I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor, and we have breaking news. Alright, so this is the situation we have right here. We now have Tropical Storm Celia in the eastern Pacific Ocean right here. That is off the coast of El Salvador right here. You can see that rotation is clear as day. It's developing as we speak. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So, okay, that's the wrong thing. My apologies, but yeah, this is now a 40-mile-per-hour tropical storm. It is moving north-northeast at 3 miles per hour. Its current location is at 11.6 degrees north, 89.3 degrees west. And it is currently expected to remain a tropical storm and strengthen to a strong tropical storm as it moves and kind of meanders off the coast of Guatemala and El Salvador right here. And then it starts to pick up the pace after the weekend is over, and then starts moving through. And then it starts moving at a fast pace due west, essentially. So we have the latest on Celia right here. This is the latest public advisory. The Celia is a small storm. Tropical storm force winds extend out only 35 miles from the center, and the minimum central pressure is 1,004 millibars. And even though those winds are likely not going to impact El Salvador or Guatemala, it does look like that the rainfall will. Areas of heavy rainfall are expected north of the Tropical Storm Celia across portions of far southern Mexico, Guatemala, and El Salvador through Sunday. Some areas may see 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, with isolated maximum amounts of 8 inches. This rainfall could cause some instances of flash flooding and mudslides across the region because that region over there is quite mountainous and very hilly as well, with some of those slopes pretty steep gradients right there. So enough rain, the ground gets saturated. It could cause mudslides unless that soil is rooted in there. So if you're watching this from Mexico, Guatemala, or El Salvador, you need to pay attention to this. So that's the basic situation we have. Let's go ahead and take a look at the tracks and then the intensity. A couple of models actually have this moving further up to the north and making landfall either in Guatemala or Mexico, which I don't think is going to happen. I'm sorry, but I don't think it is. I think it's going to go where the majority of the models are going. It's going to be kind of staying over here for the next couple of days and then start moving essentially due west or west-northwest as time goes on. The intensity, though, is a bit interesting right here because we're seeing more and more models now thinking that this is also going to be a hurricane. Now, we had Hurricane Agatha, we had Hurricane Blas, and if these models are verified and a week out we see a hurricane, that's Hurricane Celia right there, which I cannot recall the last time we saw the first 3 tropical named systems turn into hurricanes. I don't even think that's even happened at this point, either in the Pacific or Atlantic. So if you're wondering why I am covering this, I am covering this because we're potentially looking at history in the making right here. Like, if we're seeing the first 3 systems potentially be hurricanes, like we already saw Agatha and Blas back-to-back hurricanes, and this is mid-June right here. This is just the start of hurricane season. Like, think about what's going to happen in August when the tropical system really skyrockets in late July and early August. Think about that. That is why I am covering this, because if we're seeing all this activity now, think about what's going on and what's going to happen a couple of months from now. Like the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season, it really didn't start off as slow as people wanted it to. We had tropical storm after tropical storm after tropical storm after tropical storm, and then we started getting hurricanes in July, and then those hurricanes became very intense in late August and September, and by the time it was over, we had Hurricane Iota. Like, we went through all 22 names in our list, and we had to start using the Greek alphabet. We went all the way to Iota. And despite the controversial grading, I think it's a Category 5. And there's SFMR and dropsons that confirm this. So just why am I rambling about 2020? If you're wondering, I am rambling about it because, like, 2020 early on had very bad signs of what was coming. Like, we had the earliest named tropical systems. We had a high-end Cat 1 hit near Brownsville, Texas in mid-July. and then we had just everything exploding right after that. So all this right here, like this modeling, the modeling I'm showing now, like this right here, just man, if these verify, which this is 7 days out, so we'll have to wait and see. Like 3 hurricanes, the first 3 in the first 3 named storms. I don't think that's ever happened before. So that is why I am covering this. If you're wondering, that is why I am covering the Pacific hurricane season right now, because each tropical named system I'm noticing is turning into a hurricane, and this is only mid-June. This is the very start of hurricane season. In fact, Agatha started before hurricane season even officially started. And so essentially, at least in the Pacific, the hurricane season has went off with a bang. Started off with a bang, at least. And that has me worried, actually, because even though it's the Pacific Ocean, it's a completely different ocean than the Atlantic. The activity we're seeing over there could essentially bleed into what happens in the Atlantic if these storms cross into the Gulf of Mexico, just like Agatha did turn into Alex. We could see similar situations happening in the Atlantic as the waters start to get warmer and the shear starts to get weaker. Like, I want to show you this wind shear right here because this was a drastic change in the last few days, and pretty much the Gulf of Mexico is primed for development. So all it needs is a few thunderstorms of tropical origin, and basically it needs to stay over water long enough for something bad to develop. So I'm pretty much going to stop this video right here. But I will say that if Celia ends up becoming a hurricane like these models are suggesting, it'll be the first time, at least that I know of, that we will see the first 3 named systems turn into hurricanes in either the Pacific or Atlantic hurricane seasons. This is something I don't take lightly. And yeah, they're probably going to stay out to sea, but it could foreshadow what's going to happen a couple of months down the road. So that's why I'm covering this. But with that being said, have a wonderful day. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications for more videos like these. And stay safe.